Before us, the water. Before us, the water flowed here, long before we crossed the land bridge, climbed the mountains, roamed the prairies. The Great Spirit left a bay here as a life source for the people. Waiting for us, shores of plenty, fish-filled waters, lands for hunting, 7 kinds of trees to shield us, 7 grandfathers to guide us. And we built our homes and lives here, nurtured by the deep blue water. Before us the water, like an unsalty ocean, called many a man to take up the notion of leaving his home to cross lakes in search of adventure and whitefish and perch. On the shores of the bay, we built 200 ships, side-launching Lakers through the seaway to slip. Minesweepers and corvettes when war came to call. The Collingwood yards constructed them all. By the mid-1980s, the time finally came when we realized we'd reached the end of the game. For decades, the harbor sat silent and still till we dredged out the bottom and built a high hill. From the top of that berm, there's now a grand view. The harbor returned to its previous blue. Before us, the water is so blue. In the refugee camp, even water to drink was rare. I wondered then what Canada would be like. Now we are here, and even this bay of a lake feels like the sea, so big and wide, like it goes on forever. I'm so happy to be in a safe and beautiful place, with the water as blue as in my dreams. Before us, the water spools out like a roll of blue silk, rippling with promise. It stretches in front of us like a bright future coiled at our feet. This is how it is done when the world is made new. The canoes are no longer birch bark. The shipyards are silent. But the seagulls and herons continue, as do we, joining head and heart and hand to honor and preserve what we share. This water before us, this land, this air. This poem was written to capture 4 voices representing the pre- and post-contact past, the present from the perspective of a newly arrived refugee child, and the newly imagined future being celebrated. While each stanza has a different rhythm or heartbeat, they all comprise 7 lines to honor Indigenous teachings and culture. The line, "This is how it is done when the world is made new," is from the poem World Renewal Ceremony by Indigenous poet Judy Branham Ambruster, which appeared in Tea and Bannock Stories, a compilation of poems in celebration of First Nations aesthetic practices that speak to humankind's active relationships to homeland and her being. Before Us the Water by Day Merrill was first performed by a member of Collingwood's Indigenous community, a former shipyard worker, a girl from our local Syrian refugee community, and the poet at a 2019 Nibby water gathering at Collingwood's Awen Gathering Place.